2018 presidential elections in Cameroon, 5 new faces fight for the Etudi Palace amongst 4 old foes. Out of 28 files received at elections Cameroon, 27 were examined, 9 approved and 18 rejected. Cabral Libi, Serge Espoir Tomba, Prophet Franklin D4 would have to battle with political gurus if they want to embark on a historic political journey in Cameroon. This is the 8 p.m. newscast on ST. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for watching today's newscast. The files of 18 candidates have been rejected and that of 9 others selected by the electoral body of Elections Cameroon today. 9 candidates, all endorsed by political parties, have been validated to contest for the October 7 presidential polls. Peter Sosi.
9 candidates have been retained to contest the October 7 presidential elections after the Electoral Council scrutinized 28 candidacy files. The names of the aspirants have been revealed at the end of a session in Yaoundé Tuesday.
Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM, Garga Aman Aji, Alliance for Democracy and Development, ADD, Kamto Maurice, Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRN, Libi Nge Cabral, National Union for Integration plus Solidarity, UNIVER, Matomba Serge Espoir, United People for Social Renovation, UPSR, Muna Akere Tabe, Popular Front for Development, PFD, Damjoya Adamu, Cameroon Democratic Union, CDU, Ndifo Apangwi Franklin, Cameroon National Citizen Movement, CNCM, OC Joshua Nabangi, Social Democratic Front, ACF.
It has taken 2 weeks for the examination of files to be completed, a process which was nonetheless delicate.
28 candidatures were received at Elections Cameroon. 27 were examined. One of the candidates, Mr. Isaac Pezu of the Movement for the Emergence and Awakening of Citizens, Merci Party, filed a formal letter to withdraw his candidature on the 19th of July 2018. Of the 27 files examined, 18 were rejected for various reasons related to the provisions of the Electoral Code.
The number of retained candidates is far below that of the 2011 presidential elections, where 23 aspirants made it through the examination process. No woman was retained.
As you just heard it from Eno Agwams Egbe, files of 18 candidates have been rejected by Elections Cameroon following cross-examination of documents. Amongst these files include all 6 independent candidates and 2 female aspirants. Peter Sosi once again.
As revealed by the Elections Management Body, ELECAM, 18 candidates could not survive the scrutiny of files from the 27 whose documents were examined. Amongst them, none of the 6 independent candidates could make it beyond the stage. They are Kekomo Boboro, Chupo Kamgeng Eve, Etonde Jean-Patrice, Barin Kola Edouard, Geneviève Nze, and Rigobert Gabaminabda. Besides the independents, 12 others endorsed by their various parties also failed to make it past the examination of files. Abiba Issa of Crisis Turn UPC, Bertin Kisop of the Cameroon Party for Social Justice, Chantal Roger Tulle of Debout Cameroon, Jean Blaise Guet of the Patriotic Movement for Change in Cameroon, and Olivier Billet of the Union for Fraternity are amongst the big misses in this year's presidential race. Habiba Issa and Geneviève Nze, the 2 female candidates, have also seen their dreams quashed by the no-nonsense scrutiny. One of the candidates, Isaac Fezer, who initially deposited his files, withdrew from the race and threw his support behind incumbent Paul Biya. The rejected candidates, according to ELECAM, failed to meet up with set conditions laid down by the Electoral Code, which prescribed, amongst others, permanent residence in the country for at least 6 months, non-payment of the caution, and incomplete number of signatories for independent candidates. They will have 2 days from the date of the publication of candidates to appeal the decision at the Constitutional Council. The Council will sit and deliberate on them within 10 days.
Meantime, some selected presidential candidates propose an opposition coalition to overthrow incumbent President Paul Biya. Cabral Libi of Parti Univers, Paul Mael of the Now Movement expressed their party's desires to form a coalition of 8 this Tuesday in Yaoundé following the publication of list of candidates retained for the October 7 polls. Darling Fujo.
To Kabwan Libi, candidate of Parti Univers, a come together with other opposition political parties could be the next step.
Je lance un appel à tous les autres, tous les 8 autres candidats de l'opposition afin que nous
I call on the other 8 opposition candidates to come together as soon as possible to reflect on how to secure votes. Other political parties who are not in the race due to some judicial restrictions are also invited. Most importantly, we should meet and unanimously select a unique candidate to lead the coalition of 8.
Lequel d'entre nous, en dehors de lui-même, il pense qu'il peut leader la coalition de 8.
A similar view shared by the Popular Front for Democracy.
The leaders are talking right now. That is what I know. It is that Kerimuna and the others leaders are still talking. I've just talked with Kabral Libi, who told me I received a short message from Kerimuna 2 days ago. So that means that those leaders are still talking, and we hope they will find out something what Cameroonian needs. So one unique leader in front of the President Biya.
Exactly 2 months to the presidential polls, some political parties have embarked on a number of field activities to win more votes.
Our campaign has started since January. Since the candidate declared his intention to run to the office, we start to work. We start to go towards Cameroonian. The Akerimuna went from the far north to the southwest. He did 8 regions among the 10 our country has. So we will continue doing the same thing.
Is there hope of any coalition?
We are going back to the fields to present our project in order to convince more Cameroonians.
Already on the field, organize ourselves with our militant to go in campaign. We are already in campaign. We organize in Bafoussam, in Chan. We organize in Danleke to go on campaign to explain why it is important.
Activities which will be intensified when the presidential campaign is officially launched sometime in September.
In Bamenda, some political activists and civil society activists as well have applauded the work done so far by Elections Cameroon. They attribute them a vote of credibility. Lovett Bay.
Retaining just 9 candidates out of the 27 who deposited their files at Elecam, some political figures and civil society activists in the Northwest region have reacted.
You know that Elecam is made up of credible Cameroonian people of substance, people of national and international credibility. So I think they did a good job. So I'm convinced that the level ground for the presidential election will be a good one. And Cameroon, that's a good sign that Cameroon democracy is advancing.
Done the job of scrutinizing, but doing a job is one thing and doing it well is another. We should all know that what is worth doing is worth doing well. We don't know what criteria they have used in doing such exercise, so we don't know, but we are sure that Cameroon is highly corrupt in many ways, so we don't know exactly if they've done their job correctly. Narrowing it to 9 is okay, but narrowing it to a perfect 9 is even better. But we are sure that if 20 oppositions already gave their support to the ruling party, the party of President Biya, logic points that the 9 do not stand a great chance.
They have also cautioned the 9 remaining presidential aspirants.
Message I have for the 9 presidential candidates is that they should campaign in peace. No slangs, no bitterness. They should take politics as a game for development, to work for the interests of our country.
I want to tell these 9 political parties to be sincere and look at the circumstances. Do they really answer this question? The question is, do they think elections are viable and necessary now? To me, the answer is no. Not when we have more than 50,000 refugees, about 5,000 displaced internally, about 1,500 in jails, and millions of Southern Cameroonians who cannot come back into this country. I think the timing is horrible, and my advice to them is that they should be just with their actions and they should use their consciences. If I were them, I would go for the fact that elections should hold on until the Southern Cameroon issues have been addressed.
In as much as Cameroonians are waiting to go and cast their votes on October 7, what matters are those involved in the counting process.
However, the population of Bamenda in the northwest region of the country have diverse reactions over the selection of 9 presidential candidates. While some are anxiously awaiting campaigns, others simply stayed indifferent. Lovett Bear, Ignacio Samabo.
Following the publication of the final list of presidential candidates, with just 9 on the list out of 27, some Bamenda city dwellers have been reacting.
I don't think they have even the chance to win President Biya. Don't forget that the President of France has already invited President Biya to France in November, pre-election invitation. In other words, they know exactly who the president is going to be. So I say let's not keep looking at small deals and forget the greater goal, which is humanity itself.
Now, I am not for the election now. I am waiting on the conference that is going to held at Buya, which is convened by the cardinal. After that meeting, I will take note whether I'm for election or not.
I'm talking about the Minister of the Determination, Tanganji Paul, because he blocked political parties' campaign money for the senatorial election. I hope that he should not do so for those who are going in for the presidential election. I'm calling and praying the head of state to check this young man and check his activities to see that he should not put our country into jeopardy.
What I can tell to candidates is that anyone who can win will change the country positively, not negatively. And if we begin with this problem of Anglophone part of Southwest and Northwest, that we should try to solve this problem first. And second, try to solve the problem of Boko Haram. And third, try to build the democracy, because even right now, our democracy is having many problems, difficulties.
Many Cameroonians are now hoping that something will be done.
Far from elections, as from 2019, mayors and government delegates in Cameroon shall have the right to identify and draw up development projects to be financed in their council areas by the central administration. This is the major outcome of a first cabinet meeting of the Decentralization Board chaired by Prime Minister Philemon Yang in Yaoundé today. Some 2 buildings have been consumed by wildfire at General Express Agency in Bafoussam, that is in the west region of the country. The fire is said to have ignited at about 6 p.m. this evening, but the cause is yet to be established. Our correspondents on the ground tell us no life was lost as passengers present at that time of the incident succeeded to escape. Firefighters are still struggling to quench the flames. Let's now move to the southwest region with our correspondents to get what is making news in that part of the country.
In a recent communique released on the 31st of July 2018 by the mayor of the Buya municipality, Ekema Patrick, to grant clemency to business persons whose shops were sealed for more than 1 week to resume with their businesses, equally stated, sanctions on the permanent closure of any business premises that will adhere to the Monday Ghost Town.
Total clemency all the stores that were sealed, with the hope that the issue of undeclared Ghost Town on Mondays should be an end in our municipality and move forward. If it continues, we shall revisit our decision.
Despite this call, the town of Buya on Monday, August 5th, experienced another ghost town. Business premises were closed, the main boulevard void of persons, no township taxis, with just few shops in the inner quarters open to serve the public.
Actually, those of us in the quarters, they never closed our stores. We were somehow bed. As concerned the ghost town, Monday I wasn't here. But throughout this period, business is slow. And the ghost town is really affecting us. We don't really know where to go. We don't know who to follow. So we just follow the majority.
Going by some business persons, though the fear of having their shops sealed forced them out to loiter around their shops, their profit margins has greatly been affected given these severe ghost towns.
Landlords, they don't care if you are selling or not.
They will just ask for their rent, bills, you pay your bills. They don't care if you open or not. So it's really difficult for us.
Affects now because you are not able to make ends meet. Imagine that you close your shop every Monday and you need to pay house, you need to pay for house, you need to pay taxes and all that. You cannot meet up because you close the shop all the time. So you cannot meet up.
With a general slow pace at which business has been unfolding in the town of Buea, after shops were sealed for 1 week and the Monday ghost town recently, business persons hope for a lasting solution to the present slow economic situation in the town of Buea.
In religion, we talk about Hajj 2018. President Paul Biya has donated gifts to some Muslims here in the Littoral region. Governor Samuel Dieudonné Vadibois gave luggages to some 6 Mecca pilgrims Monday, August 6th, here in Douala. Darling Future reports.
Hajj 2018 traveling kits, special gifts of the head of state Paul Biya, distributed to pilgrims from the Littoral and Southwest regions. These pilgrims each received 3 suitcases, one of 7 kilograms and 2 others of 23 kilograms from Governor Samuel Dieudonné Vadibois.
The head of state has fulfilled his promise to Muslims. We are overwhelmed. In the past, other countries were in possession of their bags and we were like orphans. But this year, the head of state proved to us that we are not orphans. So we are grateful and promise to pray for peace in the country.
Ce geste est très significatif pour la communauté musulmane nationale du Cameroun.
This gesture is symbolic to the entire Muslim community in the country. This donation to our pilgrims heading to Mecca is yet an additional motivation to pray for God's intervention in solving the problems in the country. These pilgrims will travel with blessings and also return with abundant blessings.
Ces pèlerins vont partir avec ces bénédictions et vont nous ramener aussi des bénédictions.
During the distribution ceremony at the Littoral Governor's office on the 6th of August in Douala, these pilgrims who will be heading to Saudi Arabia for pilgrimage promised to include Cameroon in their supplications and return with bags filled with blessings.
Exercise was conducted in Bamenda, northwest region of the country by Governor Adolphe Lele-Lafrique to some 66 Muslim pilgrims. Lovett reports.
66 Muslim pilgrims in the northwest region have benefited from the head of state's gifts that will assist them as they embark on their journey to Mecca. The ceremony to officially hand over the gifts was presided at by the governor of the northwest region, Adolphe Lele-Lafrique, and the pilgrims benefited from 3 bags each.
Yeah, we just brought in the gifts by the head of state to the Muslim faithful who will be traveling to Mecca for their pilgrimage. Yeah, in those boxes as we have seen, we have 2 hand luggages and 1 hand luggage for those who are traveling to Mecca, just for them to put their things inside and travel safely so that they can pray for our country for peace to reign.
To the governor, much is expected from these Muslims as they go on pilgrimage.
They have committed themselves to pray for long-lasting peace in this country. That is the strong prayer, the strong expectation they are expecting from them that, like they committed themselves, they will pray for our region to come back to normalcy, for the help of our nation, for the help of our head of state. And we all know the many challenges our nation is facing. And it's a golden opportunity for us, yes, to send a strong message to God, who will certainly answer our prayers.
The Muslim faithfuls on their part have expressed gratitude to the head of state for saving them from the stress of the too many checks they usually encounter each time they are going on pilgrimage, and have therefore pledged to put Cameroon before God.
The bag will help us for many things. So when we buy our things, we will put inside. When we go to the control, they will not control all the more because they know that it comes from the head of state. So
our key mission is to pray for our country for peace, for good health, long life, and prosperity.
Pilgrimage, or Hajj as the Muslims will call it, is one of the 5 pillars of Islam and a mandatory religious duty for Muslims that must be carried out at least once in a lifetime by adult Muslims who are physically and financially capable, and comes with a lot of respect at the end.
Let's get news out of Cameroon with VOA.
If you met Dasha Reed on the street, you would probably not guess she'd suffered brain damage as a child. But you might notice something odd if upon second meeting, she did not recognize you.
Face processing is especially dependent on the right temporal lobe, and so it's on the side here.
Although she is generally recovered, Reed now suffers from prosopagnosia, or face blindness. With support from the National Science Foundation, psychologist Brad Duchesne and his collaborators at Dartmouth College are studying how people recognize and process faces.
My main interest is trying to understand the organization of the normal brain. And we use these brains that have suffered brain damage to try to make inferences about the way the normal brain operates.
Although acquired prosopagnosia was first formally described 150 years ago, it is rare and not well understood. Duchesne has gathered 20 participants with the disorder to create a database with results from a battery of tests.
You ready?
Mm-hmm. Like the famous faces task.
I don't know. I don't know. John Travolta.
Yeah, baby.
That chin, you can't deny the chin.
They also test other aspects of perception and memory for objects.
And so imagine that we find somebody who suffered brain damage and they can't recognize faces any longer, but they can still recognize cars in a parking lot and they can recognize scenes and things like that. What that suggests is that faces are processed by different mechanisms in the brain.
Researchers look at the brain structure using MRI and test brain activity using functional MRI, while patients look at faces or scenes.
They are missing certain parts of the brain, or they have damaged certain parts of the brain, and we see that in MRI scans. And so if the part's not there, it can't act on anything. So we can make inferences on what that part does.
We hope that by really developing an understanding of face processing itself, that'll provide us with sort of a model for understanding the way other parts of the brain work.
Duchesne says his basic research on face blindness will not directly lead to any treatments, but Reed still wants to participate. With her help, researchers can better understand how we recognize the world and people around us. Sadie Wachowski, VOA News, Washington.
We conclude today's newscast with this sport information. The 9-man CAF delegation in Cameroon has already begun visiting sites to host the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. Training pitches, the Yaoundé Military Stadium, the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium, as well as the Olembe Sports Complex were visited today, day 1 of the 3rd CAF visit. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.